COEP looking like it's prepping itself for some retribution here. Let's go ahead and go over the details for the following sessions. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a COEP, technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so yes, we are looking at COEP potentially making its actual run back up to the upside to test that the true breakout test number 5. Okay, so we have spoken about this several times in this channel. Okay, so usually when we fail, or if we fail that 4th test, which is a true breakout test, and the one that happens more often than not, then there is one more shot for the asset to actually get that upside that it needs on that test number 5. Okay, so very curious that we're starting to get a very nice upthrust here from the COEP asset. Okay, so as soon as we do break out of that test number 5, very likely we would come back and retest again the newly converted resistance into support, and then try to make our trek all the way to the upside that we actually faced, which was about that $2.10 level before it actually happened, right? So very curious stuff over here coming out of COEP. So let's go ahead and move on down the line and see what we have. So this is actually the descending triangle that we looked at a few days ago. And I want to just express the fact that, I mean, first of all, I just said that we could be in that retribution phase to try to get that upside thrust, right? So this is another indication that we may actually be doing that. Okay, so in order for us to get a price objective from this formation, we have to take a trend line from the center, right? From the center of the triangle. We can always do it to the very top of the, we can do it from the hypotenuse all the way to the lower point of the triangle too. But this is another method of doing it, right? So taking a trend line from the top, from the hypotenuse of the triangle, right, to the lowest point and applying it to the area of breakout, you'll go ahead and notice that we actually got that very bottom today. Okay, so we came right back down and rejected from it upon realizing the downside from the price objective of the descending triangle. Okay, so this is actually very good for the COEP asset, as it's suggesting a potential floor has been found here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and continue on the analysis. This is another reason why there could potentially be a floor found. I'm going to show you a bunch of floors. Okay, so here on the 3-day chart, we're looking at the retracement all the way back to test the newly converted resistance into support from this symmetrical triangle, right? So this is already very good, and we're actually closing right upside of the opening of this candle here. So very strong areas of support right now for COEP. Okay, so now another thing that I would like to mention here is that volatility versus momentum are actually now starting to look very bullish. Okay, so the 3-day time frame now has a type of statistical play happening here with actually volatility versus momentum. So we have an upside pivot on both the 3-day exponential moving average and the 14-day simple, which are stock and are per the regular setup of a stochastics oscillator. And we actually are starting to get that contraction phase from volatility, from critical expansion above the 90 percentile here. Okay, so this is indicative of a potential upthrust coming in. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart, as I would like to talk about one more thing. So this is the weekly pennant that we're looking at here. Okay, so the reason why I'm mentioning this is because if you can see right down here, we actually came right back down to the support line of not a pennant, I'm sorry, a symmetrical triangle, right? Because it's after a downtrend. So yeah, we came right back down to that support area of the triangle, and we actually bounced to the upside. Okay, so this is potentially showing us that there could have been a floor found as well. Okay, so another indication that there could be a continuation to the upside from our current moment. One thing to point out, very important here on the weekly, is the fact that we have now converted both the SMA 100 and the SMA 10 into support. and now this could also serve as a potential upward catalyst or an influence, right? So this is definitely good. Now let's go ahead and look at the final part of the analysis here on the COEP asset, which is going to be the RSI. And please notice that the RSI on the hourly is starting to make a very bullish cross above that 14-day simple moving average represented by that pink line. The RSI signal is your purple line and is now suggesting a continuation to the upside. Okay, bi-hourly time frame also suggesting a continuation to the upside with it looks to be limited though, okay? So that upside pivot could actually find some type of resistance very soon, but it's also a very short-term time frame, okay? So if we were to see a type of pullback, guys, very likely for us to touch tomorrow at the $1.52 zone before actually coming back down and testing our current highs of about 149 before a continuation to the upside, okay? Per the indications or the suggestions of the RSI itself, okay? So 8-hour time frame has a very tiny little pivot here, but usually these pivots tend to fail. And another reason why it may fail, it may actually not, I'm just saying the reason why it may fail is that we are within the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, which would help us or assist us with a thrust to the upside. Okay, so now a very good metric here on the daily time frame RSI is that, I mean, first of all, yes, we're below it. We're below the 14-day simple, which is bearish, right? But we do have an upside pivot on the RSI signal, and it looks like the pivot from the 14-day simple is starting to kind of favor the upside, right? So now that we're getting close to the gravitational zone, actually we're within. Yeah, so 48% would be absolutely the gravitational zone here. So we're pretty much at it, which actually would help us succeed the 14-day simple and continue onwards and upwards here. Okay, so now speaking about the 3-day RSI, there may not be a continuation to the downside so much here, okay, because we are at that gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile, and it seems as though we have been using the 14-day simple as more of a guide than a support, right? So we haven't actually came back all the way down to test the area of support. We've only been using it just as a guide. And as you can see here, is very confluent with actually finding some type of pivot soon, right? So similar thing here on the 5-day iteration, except the only thing here is that, oh, damn, all of them are in the gravitational zone. So this one is also in the gravitational zone from the oversold percentile. So personal opinion here, it shouldn't matter what I think anyway, right? But it's looking like there could be a succession here, and it looks like we may be in the process of making a continuation to the upside for a ticker symbol COEP. Guys, please remember that I still have a few seats left available in the ArcMasters trading course. Okay, so go ahead and refer to the links in the description below, and you'll find the email there, ArcMastersCourse@gmail.com. Send me an email because there are only a few seats left on that. Reserve, get enrolled, because this would probably be my last course that I'm going to offer, guys. I'm not going to do this anymore or for a very long time. Okay, so definitely take advantage of this last course. There are still a few seats available from the 30 that I actually offered. We will be beginning in the second, or actually more than likely the third week of April, and we are going to be going over the very fundamentals of trading. I'm talking about the essence that makes trading all the way up to advanced topics and mathematical concepts. Okay, you guys. So please remember that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be good. Okay, you guys. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me on Discord or Twitter. But with that said, guys, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.